You know, I think a lot of people when they come to Korea, or before they even come, they have this perception that Korea is like the best place on earth. You know, nothing bad can happen. Everyone is good. Everyone is nice. And that's not the case. Something is still going to happen. And I think that a lot of girls are fooled by K-pop and K-dramas. They think that they're going to come and find their perfect oppa. Like, no, it's not happening. You're going to come here and find a lot of guys similar to the ones you left. So please be careful.
Hey babies, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new around here, my name is Adrianna. As you guys can tell by the title, today I am going to be talking about Jun Lee and all of the controversy, I suppose, that is surrounding his name and his channel at the moment. If you guys don't know who Jun Lee is, he is a Korean YouTuber who has started his channel off as an AMBW channel, but after he and his girlfriend broke up, he had changed his channel and started making videos on the pretense that it would be about educating and shining a light on the racism within Korea. I myself have watched Jun Lee's channel for a while now, and I'm not saying that in this video I'm going to be approving any of the behavior he's done. I'm not going to be trying to defend him. However, because I have watched so many of his videos and in specifically trying to gather information about this video that I'm making for you guys, I have kind of noticed that, not necessarily accusations, but the reasons behind why people are starting to think that he's racist, I personally did not perceive them that way, and everyone has their own opinions. I'm not saying that they were wrong, I'm not saying I'm right or anything like that. And so in this video I am going to be sharing with you guys my opinions, what I think is going on, what I think could have happened, what may have happened, and I am going to be sharing with you guys two specific stories from actual girls who I got the permission to retell their stories. I will not be putting their names in this video, and I'm going to be showing you how their stories are different from Jun Lee's, how Jun Lee's stories are different from their stories, and things like that. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to bash him. I'm not trying to defame Jun Lee. I'm not trying to discredit him or his channel. I'm not trying to spread hate or anything like that. I don't want people going to his channel giving him hate. I'm making this purely for educational purposes. Having said that, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the video because I feel like this intro is already long enough. You guys are probably wondering, well, why are we talking about it? Like, why is this important? Or, I didn't even know who that was, so why should I care? Well, about the end of 2019, around Christmas time, there were two specific girls whose stories had started to circulate. And it was about this time that Jun had also created a video entitled How Korean Teenager Guys Think of Black Girl. And what hurt so many black women specifically, especially because his channel is really centered around black women and kind of being an ally and trying to like kind of protect black women, I suppose. This video specifically hurt black women the most, and the reason it did that is because the very first thing that happened, he asked them if they've ever met a black girl, have they ever spoken to a black girl. And one of his friends recounts a time in which he was studying in Australia and he met some of his sister's friends who were mostly white, but there was one black girl. And so Jun asked him, well, what was your first impression of the black girl? And his friends responds, well, she was pretty. And then he rephrases it and says, well, she was pretty for a black girl.
호주 갔을 때도 있고 누나 친구들 왔을 때 만나본 적도 있지.
흑인? 여자?
흑인이랑 백인 다.
와, 글로벌하네. 어땠어, 첫인상이 그러면?
되게 이뻤지 근데. 흑인인데 엄청 이쁘더라고.
We're gonna cut the story right there and I'm gonna insert my personal opinion. I find that very disrespectful because I've only ever heard that said about black women. And I don't know where people got that from. I don't know what makes a certain type of black girl ugly. I don't know what makes a certain type of black girl pretty. Having a darker or lighter skin color, either way, it doesn't make you prettier, it doesn't make you uglier, so I don't understand where people got that saying from. It's very disrespectful and honestly hurtful to people. So that's not okay. Another thing that had really, really upset people was not only the fact that his friends directly call black women ugly when they talk about skin color.
왜 싫은지 너가 좀 말해줄래?
이유가 없는데. 그냥 거부적이야?
아, 좀 못생긴 아니 취향이 아니지.
취향이 아니야?
내 취향이 아니지.
왜냐면 한국인들만 봐서 이렇게.
그렇지. 익숙하니까. 하얀 게 익숙하니까.
But they also directly compare black women to horses.
뭐 떠오르는 거 있나?
하체 비만.
아
슬리벤티.
그러니까 우리나라에서는 이게 하체 비만으로 생각하는 거지. 그게 보기 좋아?
난 좀 말 같아서 별로.
하진 않지.
익숙하진 않고.
왜냐면 한국엔 그런 사람 별로 없으니까.
So in Korea, they call having like a big butt lower body obesity, if you guys don't know. So that's what he was referring to. He was saying that when he thinks of black women, he thinks of black women with a big butt. But he said lower body obesity and said that a black girl with a big butt looked like a horse. And of course, that upset so many black women or just people in general. Like, who does that? Like, who compares a person to an animal? I've never heard that in my life. And I watched this video, and especially that section, because I was looking for that. I was looking for his actions of him laughing. I didn't find it. And I'm not saying that people are living in confirmation bias or seeing something that they want to see or anything, but I didn't find it. I didn't see him laughing. I think he was processing it. He didn't make an emotion when they said that, which is bad in and of itself because it's kind of like accepting it. So that's bad enough that he didn't say anything or that he didn't have a reaction to it. But I don't think he laughed. It was nothing. There was nothing there. So that was something else that had really upset people, and specifically black women, because again, that is basically what his whole entire channel is based around. Black women specifically. Not all black people, not black men, black women specifically. So that right there was so hurtful, especially because in the video, he confronts them about pretty much everything else. He confronted them about saying that black women are pretty for a black girl. Jun confronted them when trying to describe like braids and afros and things like that. They called it reggae hair, and Jun confronted them then by saying, you know, it's not okay, you can't say that because reggae is a type of music genre, but his friends don't really listen to him, like they just laugh at him basically, and they kind of pushed it off to a whole other topic.
머리
카포에라?
아니 그 머리
곱슬?
그
곱슬머리.
곱슬머리.
아니 그러니까 그거
폭탄?
엄청 많이 따여져 있는 거.
레게 머리.
레게. 스컬.
그거에 대해서 약간 짚고 넘어가자면 레게는 음악의 장르야.
그치 알아.
그래서 머리를 레게 헤어라는 것은
아니
옳지 않아.
되게 스타일.
아니야, 옳지 않아.
It's disrespectful if someone goes there and calls their hair K-pop hair. It's also disrespectful if they call black people's hair reggae hair. That's not what it's called. So these were the three main things that upset so many people, but specifically black women. And that is why we're talking about this today. They say, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with dating a black girl if we can communicate, but I wouldn't want to have a black kid because there's so much racism. And you know, I'm just used to dating a Korean girl because I'm surrounded by Koreans or I'm surrounded by white girls, and so like this is just what I'm used to. So it's not even that they hate black people, even though there is an instance in the video in which Jun asked them, well, do you hate black people? And he says, no, like I don't hate black people, but I might ignore them when they try to talk to me. I'm not saying that Jun is racist because he didn't tell his friends that that's not okay to say, because everyone is allowed to have a preference. Because if you're not attracted to somebody, you're not supposed to force yourself. Not saying it's right for you to ignore them. You can easily tell them, you know, I'm not interested, I'm not attracted to you, or whatever. Okay, so now we know basically what sparked all of this conversation. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys the stories that came up around the same time that this video was released. So the first story is of a girl who was actually a subscriber of his channel who felt that what his channel was doing was really good. He was being an ally to black women, and in a live that he was on Instagram or YouTube, one of the two, he had openly said that he was looking for a black girl to use her videos, her photos, and even her voice to basically catfish these Korean guys into proving that they're F-boys on this app called Meef. And so this girl reaches out to him, tells him, yeah, you can use my photos, you can use my videos, because she was into modeling, she liked to act. And he tells her, well, let me add you on Facebook. So they add each other on Facebook. He goes on to make the video. He's using her pictures. He's catfishing these guys. He tells her, I need to use your voice to continue catfishing these people. She sends it to them. After using her videos, after using her voice, they still for a time remained in contact. So while they were in contact, she told him about how she likes to make scripts, how she wanted to make K-dramas, but she wanted a Korean perspective as to, well, would this be accepted by Korean directors, and would this even be okay, or what's the Korean position on this, like how would they perceive it? He tells her, well, yeah, like, you know, send them all to me, I'll give you my information, like what I think about it, what I think they think about it, and basically in return you can help me by giving me advice or scenarios about Black women, or help me understand better like about the Black culture and things like that. They agree, and so she gives him her Kakao Talk Korean messaging app. They message for a few days, but seemingly out of nowhere he just disappears. Days go by and he doesn't respond to her. For her, it kind of seemed like whenever it was about business, he was really quick to reply. But when it was about her, or her questions about like her scripts or anything like that, either he wouldn't respond or take him a really long time. So at this point, he had basically just disappeared, wasn't replying to her at all. Because of this, they stopped talking. They basically lost connection. She reaches out to him again, tells him, you know, can you please take off my video? Basically, you didn't keep up with the end of our agreement. He never got back to her, and her video still remains up. Now moving on to the next story, which is a lot longer, so I hope that you guys will really stay and watch, because this is very important, and the other story is important too, and his video that I talked about in the beginning is important too. But this story here, especially being the longest, this one has more receipts, so all the receipts that she provided will actually be linked down in the bottom as well. So this next story is about another girl who's, again, permission, I got to tell the story. I won't be telling her name. Basically all starts when she plans to go to Korea, and she talks to one of her friends who recommends Jun's channel, because at this point everyone still thinks that he is an ally to Black women. So she watches some of his videos, she likes what he's doing, and reaches out to him, because he always tells people, you know, if you don't have anyone to talk to, if you need friends, reach out to me, I can be your friend. So she does. She reaches out to him, she's talking with him, tells him that she's planning to go to Korea soon and to meet up. So they meet up. At this time, he's living in Gangnam. She's living 2 hours away. Her cousin also lives in Korea as well, so she's always visiting her cousin. So they make their first video. It seemed as if he was just there to make the video. So after the video was done, he was just like, okay, I'm ready to go now. She's like, well, wait, like, we're supposed to be friends. You don't want to go to the Noraebang. You don't want to go get something to eat. You don't want to do anything like that. And he's like, okay, yeah, like, we can do that. So they go out. She also says that she would go to Seoul, you know, like every week. And so he met up with her there. He takes her back to his brother's place and says that he wants to go live with her. At first she was kind of like hesitant, like, you know, I didn't really know I was gonna come here to film, like I thought we were just hanging out. And he's kind of like, AMBW videos are trending right now and everyone's always asking for you. It's helping me like bring in money for me, so can you just go live with me? And so he's like, if you stay in Korea and we make videos together, then I can pay for your living, basically, like I'll get you an apartment here. And so she's kind of like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like that was kind of my intent anyway, you know, like we agreed that I would make videos with you, so, and it's also helping you, so why not, you know? So the Goshiwon that he got for her was actually 5 minutes away from where he stayed, which according to her was not agreed upon because he had already let her pick a Goshiwon before, and she really didn't find it comfortable to live so close to him, like there was really no necessity for that. And the conditions around living at this Goshiwon was that she wasn't supposed to go out to date, she wasn't supposed to make any friends, she's not supposed to go to clubs or anything like that, because according to her, he had this thing about always talking about how he was really annoyed by foreigners who always go to clubs and things like that because they seem easy, or they always just want to like date a Korean guy, I guess. So he found that really annoying. They decided that they're gonna go to the Han River. Jun asked her how much of a percentage would she expect in return for the videos that she makes out of the revenue. According to her, she asked Jun for 40%. However, according to Jun, she asked for 60%. And in either scenario, she was told that she wasn't worth that much, that he can just get any random Black girl off the street to make videos with him. And that is very gross to say to anyone, not just to her because she's Black, but that is very disrespectful to say, especially because she was there helping him, making videos with him, and yes, he did end up getting the apartment for her, but either way, like, there was no reason for him to downgrade her worth in that way. So of course they got into a fight. At this point she had basically just realized, you know, like, he's not really who I thought he was, and he had told her, if you're ready to go home, then you can go home. So they start going home, and according to her, Jun had told her that she was walking the wrong way. So he walks in front of her, and as he's walking in front of her, she just decides to book it and runs home. However, he does not know this and ends up spending the day trying to message her and call her and things like that, trying to find out where she is, to which she actually lies to him and tells him that she went to a hotel nearby.
She did not stay at a hotel. Can you tell me? No, did not. Where she was stayed? She was ready to go shopping.
Because she didn't want him to know that she was at her Goshiwan, because she just didn't want him to come and start any more further arguments with her. He ultimately ends up apologizing to her, and they compromise to do at least 2 videos a week, and he offers to give her an extra $160 to stay in Korea and continue making videos with him, and also to get her a plane ticket back home, because at this point she was running out of money and she was telling him that she was going to go home. So he had offered this to her in order for her to stay in Korea and keep making more videos with him. Some people had even asked her, you know, like, well, why did you continue to make videos with him? And her response was simply the fact that, you know, she's in a foreign country, she can't get a regular job typically, and she was running out of money. So she figured at this point she had already made 2 videos with him already for YouTube and had went live with him already, so why not continue to stay in Korea and let him pay for her to keep staying there, since she was also helping him get in money for himself by even making these videos with him to begin with. So you guys remember how I said that the conditions for her to stay at the Goshiwan was that she was not allowed to go out, meet friends, go on dates or anything like that? Well, she actually decided to go out on a date one night, and she got back home around 1:30. It was at this time that he had messaged her and asked her why she wasn't at the Goshiwan, telling her that her apartment door was unlocked, which she knew, but she was confused, like, well, why does he know that? He wouldn't know that unless he's here. Is he here? And she was in the shower. She still doesn't want to talk to him because she's still upset about everything that he told her at the Han River. She's just telling him to leave. For one, it was late. It was 1:30 in the morning. She had just got home, just got out of the shower, and now he's there basically trying to talk to her, but she didn't want to talk to him. You know, people just have different styles. People have different love languages. There's different ways that people like to deal with conflict. Some people don't like to deal with it at all, and it seemed at this point that she didn't want to deal with what had happened. She just wanted him to leave. He had gotten upset at this, completely flips out according to her, starts cussing her out and telling her that she needs to leave. But it was so late, like, where was she even supposed to go? So she at first was like, no, I'm not gonna leave. What are you talking about? You know, just go home, we can talk later. Like, I'm trying to go to bed, I'm not going anywhere. Keeps going back and forth, him yelling at her, him cussing at her, him telling her to go home. He's basically like, well, I pay the bills here, this is my apartment. He texts her and says that he's been staying at some type of salon, so why is he staying there when he can be there, you know, like threatening her basically that he would call the police if she doesn't leave. And so she relents, she starts packing up, she's planning to leave. He's outside of the Goshiwan, and she says that pretty much like instantly his demeanor and the way he's talking to her changes, and he's trying to be nice, like, well, do you need help or anything like that? So she's like, no, I don't need your help. And he's like, well, you still need to pay me back the $200 for this Goshiwan. And at this point she had already spent some of the money, and so she told him, you know, like, no, you're not gonna get any of that money back. He's cussing her out even more, yelling at her. He does also claim that he had hit her in her back when she was trying to put her shoes on, and that he tried to push her down the stairs. But in looking at Jun's clip, it shows Jun at the bottom of the stairwell and her at the top of the stairwell, so I don't really know how that could have been possible, how he tried to push her down the stairwell if, according to that video, he was at the bottom and she was at the top. He asked her for the keys, you know, where's the extra spare key? They're relatively close, so she throws the key at him and hits him in the chest. This is where he claims that she had assaulted him because she threw some keys at him. That's not assault, especially when you're that close, but okay. He does ultimately call the police, and there's a video which shows her running away from Jun and him yelling out to her that it's not going to be good for her, that she's in a foreign country, and that he's Korean.
It's not gonna be good for you. I'm Korean.
No! Stop! 미치냐? Stop it! Get off of me!
Stop right now. You stop.
And it also shows her trying to get into a taxi cab and him basically preventing her from getting into the cab by holding the door. And there was a lot of people out on the streets basically watching, bystanders, while he was holding this door of the cab as she was trying to get in, yelling thief that she had stole something from him. Not only do some bystanders help him, but also the taxi cab driver ends up helping Jun prevent her from getting into the cab and leaving. She gives up trying to leave, stays and waits for the cops, and tells the police her side of the story.
You can't tell me to stop. No, I don't belong.
You get my money, and you don't know where. So you
gave me $20 for a YouTube video. Did you
I
not?
did-
I have it on my.
And we did not make any YouTube video.
We did actually make videos with him. I don't understand why he denied it, but I mean, he wanted his money back, so I guess I get it. So the cops get there. She's hoping that they can speak English, and she's telling them her side of the story. Jun tries to insert himself, to which the cops stop him. She tells them what happened and showing them, you know, text messages on the phone, the videos on her phone.
So I stayed, and then he was like, "Well, now you have to give me the 160 back and the 200 for the Goshiwan." And I said, "You pay for the Goshiwan. I didn't, and that's not my problem, because you did."
I did not say pay for the Goshima.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said pay me the $160.
I have it on my phone where he said that I have to pay him for the Goshiwan. So he came at 1:30 tonight.
그거 하나 줘.
Crazy. Like, you see this? Just kept messaging me. I told him to leave me alone. Leave me alone. And then he kept calling me over and over. So I said, and then he told me to get out. I'll show you. He keeps saying, "Get out, get out." You get out. Can I show you from the beginning? All the way from the beginning? They're looking at my passport. They're checking my passport to make sure everything is like cool. And I didn't know it at the time, but apparently Korea is not giving out stamps. They are giving out pieces of paper. So, you know, I didn't know that, and I thought, you know, when they didn't stamp it, I was like, whatever, cool. The police kept looking for the stamp, and at that time, Jun's like, "You need to keep checking. I think she's an illegal immigrant. You need to deport her." And, you know, they keep asking me, "Well, where's the stamp?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, the stamp ain't my problem."
He says he never said that, but we don't have a video of that police room, so we don't know. She doesn't really get a resolution. He tries to convince her to stay in Korea and tells her that she doesn't even have to make videos with him anymore, like basically just spend time with him, and that he would pay for her to stay. But she ends up going home, asks him politely to take down her videos, which of course are still up. She assumingly kept the money that was given to her, and seemingly they never spoke about each other again until all of this stuff kind of started to come up.
Part of the situation. You have to.
No, you're in, because I have all the voice record that yours, and I will use it as a evidence.
Okay, you can use that. I'm just saying that I am not a part of you guys' discussion.
No. Now you're in. Now you're in because
all I
you.
do
No. Now you're in because I'm gonna use your number to the police. Because she gave me your number, and you said you will give my money back. So I have all that voice record.
These videos and to hear everything that was going on with the girls that had met him and had actual interactions with him, and to see the videos that we're shown, you don't expect it. I don't think he's racist. I do think that, especially in his video, I think he missed an opportunity. I don't think that the way in which he responded to these girls, I don't think that was right. I don't think by keeping her video up and continuing to make money from her video is right. I don't think that him cursing at the other girl in the second story and forcing her to leave and kind of only using her for his videos, I don't think any of that's right. I think his behavior, especially in the second story, was very, very disappointing. Not that that's necessarily the right word, but it's the only word that I can think of right now. I think it was very disappointing. I think he completely overreacted given the situation. I think perhaps he does have an anger problem. I'm not trying to downgrade their experience or downgrade their stories. I don't think he's colorist or anything like that. I do think that he completely overreacted and didn't treat the situation properly. Again, I'm not trying to downgrade what they went through, but I don't think he's a racist. Either way, what I want everyone to take away from this video is that no matter how much you think you know somebody, no matter what you see online or who you think someone may be in person, you never really know who they are. And especially when you're in a foreign country, no matter how safe you are, I do think that you still need to be cautious. Be cautious of your surroundings, be cautious of where you are, and be cautious of the people that you allow to be around you. And with that, if you guys like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you want to get notified anytime that I post videos. My social media, if you're interested, will be linked down below as well. Twitter and Instagram @BougieBaby. And I will see you babies in my next video.